Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring thing.
Oh, no.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Karl, joined in studio by Paul Mawate. And Paul, we should probably address the elephant in the room. And no, it's not Searle's terrible betting. It is the brand new TAB website and app.
Whoosh.
Boy, she's looking good.
Oh, here we go. Straight into the top 8 for mine.
That's about as good as you get in terms of sign-off.
Look, there are plenty of things for you to sort of navigate around with the new app/website. So get stuck in there. But there's still going to be plenty of betting options and plenty of promotions and all sorts of new things. So, just have a go.
Have a go.
Have a go.
Dig in. Have a crack. And joining us today, as always, Nick Tedeschi. Teddy, how'd you go this week on the punt?
Yeah, good week. It was good last week, but I had got most of the big ones right. Big news for me though was I think I forgot to put my tips in on our tipping competition. So the big advance from the week before has taken a dramatic turn backwards. So I was up in Sydney at the big Anzac Day clash between the Chooks and the Dragons with former host Matt Fisk, and I think I'm recovering about now. So we're just getting back into it for round 9.
Nice, very nice. I noticed the name this week is not the King; it's just Teddy.
Well,
a soft welcome back to earth.
We reserve that for when we go perfect for the week.
And as I said, a little drive-by on him earlier, Ben Searle from Searle Talk Sports is with us this week. Searle, another tough week on the tipping front for you, my friend.
Yes, but I'm full of optimism. Actually placed my first 3-leg multi yesterday on the NBA and got a dub. So I'm undefeated on the new TAB app. I like to think new app, new me. So yeah, look out because I'm coming for the leaderboard. It's going to be huge.
We did say like there hasn't been any restrictions on what you could put that $100 on at the end of the show. It's just everyone assumes that we want to put it on NRL and rugby league. So maybe if you want to go out wide to basketball, Searle, you can look at that.
I've got one. I've got one at the Bull this afternoon, so we're going to risk me a real
please, please, we'll take that offline. All right, before we get into things, a bit like last week, some not so breaking news. Well, it was breaking last night. Teddy, your mate Jason Demetriou gone.
Yeah, Jason Demetriou sacked after 2.5 years, long time coming. Been swinging them in for a while. Hard to believe 12 months ago, South were second on the table, had beaten Penrith, were equal premiership favourites with the Panthers. And since, they've won 5 of 21 games. They haven't covered any of their last 13 games. There has been some questionable recruitment. Jack Whiten. There have been players who have been off with him. Damien Cook got dropped for reasons unclear. He declared that Lachlan Ilias would be the best half at the club. He's had in a long while, and not so subtle dig at Adam Reynolds, which managed to piss a lot of people at the club off. He was dropped 2 rounds into this year and is now being shopped around. There's been some injuries, but tactically they've been very poor. They continue to be left-heavy block runners, which is just so 2021. We're 2024 now, so let's move on. And at the end of the day, you can't win with a divided team. There's enough star power there. I've still got like 9 or 10 internationals in their side, but when Cameron Murray and Damien Cook are very much annoyed at how Latrell Mitchell and Cody Walker are being treated, the lack of accountability, Josh Mansour came out and spoke about the poor communication skills of Jason Demetriou. There was absolutely zero chance he was going to survive. The bigger question is where to next for South. Everyone on NRL 360 got the mail wrong. Yesterday, we're declaring David Fernell would be the interim coach, which was never going to be the case. And then Ben Hornby's got the gig there, but it is all in Wayne now. And I would have thought the signing of Lewis Dodd from St Helens, who was coached by Christian Wolf, given it to be by Christian Wolf, who is Wayne Bennett's successor and assistant at the Dolphins, probably has Wayne's name all over it. So obviously Wayne at 74 is in a win now mode. South have probably 2 years to get something out of the Cody Cook era. Obviously Latrell and Cam Murray got a few wins of them, but they're all in now. I think Wayne will be announced as the coach in the coming weeks.
Huge news. Just on the NRL 360, did anyone else see it when they broke the news? They threw to Buzz Rothfield. He was presumably at the press conference, and the audio didn't quite get piped through properly.
There was no press conference, and it sounded like he was trying to do it very, very surreptitiously.
Sounded like he was in the toilets doing a number 2 while he was having a yarn to Braith. It was not good.
Whoa. Where are we going?
Sorry. Next piece, Searle, I'll throw to you. Jet Cleary signs for the Wars.
Yeah, you love it, don't you? The raid on the Panthers continues. All the chat is that we will play them in Vegas in round 0, and this adds another little minor storyline to the Fisher-Harris acquisition as well. But yeah, I guess anytime you can pick up someone with the last name Cleary who plays in the halves, then you well and truly take it. By all accounts, he's not quite the footballer that Nathan is at the moment, but he's still young. And he'll form an exciting young combination with Luke Hanson, who's come across from Penrith as well. And I'm actually really high on him. He's been training with the first grade side this year. He's still under 18, a talented footballer. Looks like he could run a game already, especially at New South Wales Cup level, which he has been doing. So, yeah, they're a combination. They're best mates. Jet's going to live with Luke as well. So it is exciting times for Warriors fans. It's always good to get a Cleary and bring home another Kiwi. He's Kiwi born. He's coming home back where he belongs. And soon Nathan will be joining him at the end of that contract. And, yeah, we'll be playing for our 5th straight premiership by the time he does that. So you got to love it.
I certainly hope the Warriors are looking at signing Dean Ward, Trevor Chappell, and Hugo Maradona as well.
We've lost the plot already. Luke Keary announces retirement.
Yeah, I didn't realise he'd been around for such a long time. He's got
3 premierships.
Yeah, but he's got like a bit of a baby face, so you kind of think that he's, just out of.
Just because the bloke can't grow facial hair, you can't.
He looks like he's just out of. Look, it's a curse that a few of us have, but he just looked like he was just out of under 21s sort of thing. But he has been around for a long time and has been very, very successful and came in. I think after, was it Maloney left the Roosters and filled that void very, very well. So he's had a wonderful, wonderful career. And I wish him well. I don't know what he's going to get up to. Is he going to coach South Sydney next year? Is that why he's retiring?
Yeah, poor Luke Keary. He's one of the more underrated players. But, 3-time premiership players. So not something like that. And done the two oldest rivals as well, South and the Roosters. But let's never forget, of all his accomplishments, managing to find a cab outside of the farm at Coffs Harbour at 2:30 in the morning after getting into a dust-up with Russell Crowe might be his greatest achievement. Country cab's not easy to find.
Oh, let's move on. Divided opinion this week. Quick one. I want to know who you guys think the best player in the NRL is at the moment. Top 5 in the Dally M. This may or may not come into your considerations. Nico Hines on 22, Dylan Edwards 21, DCE and Tommy T on 20, and Zach Lomax on 19 points. Teddy, you first. Who is the best player in the NRL right now?
So I've thought about this question, and it could go kind of a lot of different ways. But I'm going to go with the most impactful player in the NRL to the team, and I'm going to say Tom Trbojevic. I just think Tom on song goes better than anyone, and kind of combine that with his current form, I think he's in outstanding form as well. Obviously, their best Nathan Cleary is has a huge impact for Penrith from a betting point of view. But I've got Tom Trbojevic. I'm clearly on top of it.
Can't argue with that. Searle?
I went with Paddy Carrigan. I just think his impact on the Broncos is massive, despite not having Payne Haas and Adam Reynolds. I think Paddy's kind of been locking them down and getting them some wins. So, yeah, if I was to start a team and have a list of people that I wanted to chuck in, I think Paddy would be right up there in the mix for me at the moment. So, it hurts as a New South Wales fan, but I think he's going great guns.
I think he is tied with Lomax or 1 point back on either 19 or 18 when it comes to Dally M's too. Paul, who you got?
I'm guessing you might have a WAR.
I don't.
Oh,
So you can take him if you want.
Well, I was going to say Adam Fanua-Blake because the WARs just look so much better when he's on the field than when he's off the field. However, I'm going to go with Adam Reynolds, and this is off the back of his intercept last weekend when he was basically falling out. He had been shot and still managed to grab the intercept and then get the ball away as well. But he has been so important for that Broncos team. And we've seen the hole that he's left at South Sydney. So I think you can look at it a couple of ways. The team that you left has got so much worse. And I'm not saying it's totally down to Adam Reynolds, but that's a big chunk of it. And the team that he's gone to has got so much better. So Adam Reynolds for mine.
I have gone Jerome Hughes. I think his impact on the Storms game is quite underrated. The way he's been playing is incredible. He's everywhere. He's in everything. I was very surprised not to see him up higher on the Dally M ladder when I had a look yesterday.
He does some very understated things. I completely agree with you, but my view of the Dally M voters is that they're mainly idiots. Who look for nothing but like Leary moments and stuff like that. So I think the subtle talents of a Jerome Hughes get way underappreciated. If we were starting a team right now doing a draft, 17 teams, but there's no way Jerome Hughes doesn't go in the first 6 or 7 picks.
Agree. Should we start the Tally M's? TAL, the advantage line.
Well, I think we should. We should be able to get allocated a couple of games each every week, and we allocate our points. I like the old style 3-2-1.
Absolutely, 3-2-1. This new style
because I think that we would have more, I guess, respect from the rugby league public than the Dally M's are getting at the moment.
I think we should do the same game and see what sort of we should do the Warriors game each week and see what sort of thing we get.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
I like the fact this is going to mean I'm definitely going to have to watch all 8 games a week now.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, love. Got to watch the footy.
Tally M's
again. All right, let's move on to last week's results, and we'll start with the betting results. Have you got your little sheet there, Paul?
I thought we were going to start on a high.
Don't worry if you don't have the sheet, Paul. It's fine, mate. We can move on if you don't have it in front of you. That's all good.
I know why Karl's very keen to look at the scores.
Yeah,
start with a high. Start with KT.
Right, we'll start with Karl. He had 3 bets last week. First of all, Storm to lead at the 20-minute mark, into the Sea Eagles, into the Broncos -5.5. $70 on that at 3.32. He then had Pappenhausen, Hughes to score a try, and Coates to score 2 tries. That was paying $23. Only just missed that one.
Just talked up my guy Hughes, and he was the one that let us down there.
Created a few though.
Yeah, he had about 10 try assists, didn't he?
I know.
And then you took the Storm to win by 30 or more.
Bang.
At $5. So you came out on top, up 232.40 for the week, and up 671.11 for the season. Right, let's get to Blake, seeing as he's not here.
Pile
on. Blake had the Wars into the Roosters into the Broncos. Let down by 1 team there.
What team was that?
Broncos.
Not the Roosters and not the Broncos. He then had the Storm to win both halves. at $4.15. And then he had his little doubles that he likes, a try scorer into a head-to-head. He had Turbo to score a try and Manly to win. He had Taruva to score a try and Panthers to win. And he had Ally Marlaw to score a try and the Broncos to win.
So, surprise, surprise, what sport that let him down there, Paul?
He's relentless.
Would it be Ally Marlaw? Anyway.
What was Blake? He was down 15 for the week.
Blake was down 15 for the week. He's down $280 overall.
Ish.
Searle.
No, we can skip this one if you want.
Searle had the Storm into the Dolphins, into the Sea Eagles, into the Wars. No good, that one. $80 on. Then he had DWZ to score a try, Coates to score a try, and Bostock to score a try. Bostock has defenses have struggled to stop him. Searle stopped him last week. Searle stopped him. So no dice there for Searle. Down 100 for the week, down 587 for the season.
Ouch.
Teddy, he went with his tried and true formula, where he takes a few singles, then multis them up, and then has usually some sort of same game multi or a double or something like that. He took the Cowboys plus the points. Ding ding. He took the Raiders plus the points. Not so good. The Storm minus the points. That was an easy watch. Then he multied those all together, so just got let down by the Raiders, unfortunately. And then he had Arthurs and Mariner to both score tries. No good there. So Teddy was down $5 for the week, and he's up $165.30 for the season.
Good work, Ted.
I had Khan Pereira and Lomax and Coates to score tries. No good. I had Plath and Wilton to score tries. No good. And I had Meany to be the first or second try scorer and for there to be over 50.5 points in that match between the Storm and the Bunnies. And that was no good. I was down 100 for the week and I'm down 280.86 for the season.
Yep. Don't throw stones in glass houses, Paulie, mate. You completely piled on there. If you combine that with your Super Rugby punting, you're down $1,000, mate. Come on.
Whoa. This is a different pod. This is what we're talking about right now.
Wow. Stick with us, punters.
What's next?
Stick with me and Ted.
That's like two of us anyway.
Yeah.
We've got you covered. Alrighty. Last week's results. So I tried to speed things up last week and we ended up taking longer when we chose a game each. So I'm going to go through I'm going to say one line about each thing and then we'll go around the room and have a quick chat. So the Titans, they beat the Wars in an Anzac Day invasion. Storm and Roosters put in a big performance, probably the best performances of the season. I thought Roosters were unreal. Eels let another one go. Tigers can't win in Campbelltown. Panthers do enough. Dolphins late charge falls short. And the Sharks embarrass the Raiders at home. Teddy, where do you want to start?
Well, I actually want to start with the teams that didn't play last week. Canterbury's defeat of the bye. saw the Bulldogs elevate themselves into the top 8 for the first time since round 10, 2017. So it's been 7 long years, but we're back, baby. We are back. For one, let's start with the Parramatta performance. They had Manly. They were very good. I felt very sorry for Quinn Cutlerson, but Micah Sevo, that elbow was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen on a football field. And I saw a night later a guy catch the ball inside the 20 and then get tackled by Samuel Fido and saw him go to the sin bin. That wasn't nearly as dumb as what Sevo did. And to me, the most telling part of the match was the press conference afterwards. But I've never seen a coach and a captain publicly slam their player like they did. Like Gutho, I would have used the word stupid 10 times about it. But they were up 4 tries to 3. They were down by 2, I think, at the time. Both late tries coming early. Like It was great for minus punters, great for overs punters. Got the chocolate there. Thank you, Sivo. But it's that kind of stupidity that you just cannot have on a team. And for all of Sivo's ability to score a try, his poor work rate combined with that kind of stupidity, I think we'll be seeing a lot of New South Wales Cup this year.
Anything to add there, Paul?
Well, no. I totally agree, though. It was just a stupid thing, and it turned the game. Parramatta are a team that need to take every single chance they get. Otherwise, I can see them getting run down. So yeah, Blake's, what was it? Was it a top 4 prediction at the beginning of the season? I hate to say it without him here to be able to defend himself, but they're making the top 4. They're not going to make the 8.
They won't be in the bottom 4, Paul, because Gutho's out for 5 weeks now. Moses is nowhere to be seen. Like they are hard up against it right now. Like they're short on talent. They've got no leadership, and their best players are on the sideline.
Good luck, Eels fans. Searle, I'm not going to give you a chance to choose your game. Please, yours, please, on the Warriors versus the Titans.
I was going to say, I thought the Storm were great. But Titans beat the Warriors in an Anzac invasion was your headlines. Yeah, this one was a tough pill to swallow. We saw each other at the game. I thought for 40 minutes we were great, and for 40 minutes we were really poor. We got off to a great start again, but once Adam Fanua-Blake and Mitch Barnett go out of the game, there's a massive momentum swing. We won the game 24 points to 10 when Adam Fanua-Blake was on the park. We can't be that up and down. I think without Marata Niokore there at the moment, I think Webby needs to kind of adjust that rotation so that there's less time where both of them aren't on the paddock. I thought defensively we were really poor, missed 43 tackles. We've been struggling to defend our errors, which is something we did really well last year. So hopefully we can turn that around, because for the first 6 rounds in the comp, we were statistically the best defensive team in the competition. So we've had a really tough kind of 3-week period now. The boys get a 10-day turnaround, 3 days off for a bit of R&R, and hopefully they come back refreshed, spend some time on the training paddock and get this train back on the right tracks, because I think we're too good of a football side to be dropping games to teams like the Dragons and the Titans, or we should be too good, and there's a lot that needs to change there. Even our attack, like we're topping the comp for meters gained, meters run throughout the competition, but your 5th tackle option can't be non-stop just kicking across to Dallon's wing and hoping that something goes our way. We have better attacking structures than that. So, yeah, we look down on confidence. We look like we're battling a bit, but 100% back that we'll turn it around this weekend and pump the Knights in Newey.
You could see there was a conscious effort to go down the left-hand side rather than the right-hand side at times during that game, and even kicking, last tackle options, actually having a go at catching the bomb, and it resulted in 2 tries. Another one disallowed. Like, if there's a little bit of variance there, it works. But yeah, I don't know, Ted, what do you think outside looking in?
It's so they've spoken about this. They've spoken about getting up to compete, and they actually they use the term start the set on their own terms. So for some of those kicks, they'd rather just let players come down, chop them straight away. That takes away the wingers kicking off their yardage sets, because if you go up and compete, knock it on, the team gets to decide where they start the play from. Their forwards get to walk back, start the set, and then they get to load up. But I do think that we've gone almost too far in that direction now. You do need to compete for kicks, especially in moments where the game is on a knife edge. I think we need to get up a little more for those. There was a couple of moments there that I thought were some contentious calls from the referee, like that Wade Egan knock on. I guess it was, but geez, they slowed that one down. The Dallin knock on for the Rocco Berry try. Dallin didn't think he touched it. That was quite tough. And then I thought we had some hissing momentum there, and then they called it up for Mo Fotuaika with his head knock on the 5th tackle when we'd marched about 70 or 80 metres down the paddock, and I thought we looked like we were going great guns. But at the same time, you can't blame the officials. 27 unanswered points in 40-odd minutes. You got to cop that one on the chin. But yeah, I think we do need to get up and compete a little more on some kicks and just find the right balance between the two.
Teddy, outside looking in, what do you think?
Yeah, you mentioned something earlier about making a conscious effort to go the other way. I think that's part of the problem. Right? I think there's a lot of scripting that's going on here in terms of we are going to make a conscious effort. So the typical thread out the right just wasn't really there. Like maybe this is a step backwards to go forward, so that it does become a little bit more natural. I'm really worried about what the Warriors are able to do off the cuff without losing their cuff. As someone who's fast and plays straight, and the Fanua Blake, like we were talking, Searle and I were talking off air about the impact Fanua Blake has, and you Warriors start the game so well. When he comes back on the field, his first 10 minutes so well. I didn't realise it was 24-10 with him on the field, and they lost 17-0 without him. But that says plenty. And as an aside, when we're going to get the plus-minus stat in for forwards like the NBA, like that, it would be a tremendous stat to have on for footy. But real dangerous sign for the Warriors, because for all the talent that they've got there, and obviously, everyone loves Webster, and I'm certainly not about to start knocking him now. It's just not clicking. It's just not coming together this year. I expected some regression this year, but it's been very hard to pinpoint where that's actually coming from. This has not been Shaun Johnson's form going through the floor, but Shaun Johnson's been not as good as last year, but he's been more than okay with the ball. It's just little moments in games with a drop off there, bad missed tackles. I think a couple of weeks ago, Rocco Berry just missing one-on-one. Johnson, when he let him slip down the left edge, I think for their first try when the Warriors were up 10-0. But just little moments like that, you think, well, he's going to get that right. So, talent's there for the Warriors, but I was speaking to Searle there, the draw coming up is not an easy one. And if you win only one of the next four or none of the next four, boy oh boy, that's a tough hole to climb out of. Like the comps often, the breakaways often go. So you want to be able to keep touch that.
They've just had their easy draw. Was the last 3 weeks. It was the run. I think Paul, it's the offloads. We're struggling to shut down the offloads, and we've got no answer.
Yeah, I think on the defensive side of the ball, they really, really have struggled. Not over the initial first, I think, 4 or 5 rounds where they were the best defensive team in the league in terms of points conceded. So they were going. I thought it looked like their systems were working very, very well. But I just think that once the likes of Fanua Blake and Barnett go off, I think the other team gets a wee bit of a breather and are able to pick things up when they do get the ball. And they have really struggled defensively, certainly down on that. Is it the left hand? Whose side is it? I think it's
on Allen's edge, that right edge. Yeah.
Right side,
yeah. They've struggled big time. So once we see that start to pick up, I think once they do have the ball, that'll start to improve as well. So yeah, defensively, I think they've just got to work on their systems and get that line working well again. That line speed coming up and shutting teams down early, because the other teams are starting to make some very, very easy meters at times during the game.
There was a bit of fool's gold in that early part of the season as well, with the run that we had, like holding Canberra to 10, Newcastle to 12, South to 4. They've all proven themselves to be very, very poor teams. Sharks, have they beaten anyone? Like they held them to 16. The top of the table, I still don't know if we know the Sharks are any good. The one real test that was there was the Storm, and Storm put 30 on. So I guess time will tell. But 22, 30, 27 over the last 3 weeks against 2 against teams who won't be featuring in the top 8, the Dragons and the Titans. That's worrying times.
Your man Tanner Boyd was looking like Joey Johns there for a little bit, Teddy.
Well, that should be the biggest indictment on the Warriors of all, because he is absolutely horrendous. The fact someone, 1, would fall for his dummy, and then 2, he could step over the fullback. I've been one of the biggest Charles defenders of all time, but that was a low point in Charles Nickel Clockstad's 100 game career. That was a shocking attempt. Tanner Boyd.
Paul, what game do you want to talk about?
I like that traditional Anzac Day clash between the Roosters and the Dragons, and I thought the Roosters were just super against the Dragons team, who have not been bad this season at all. And it was great to see Sam Walker back in there and just working, looking like a Tanner Boyd, looking like he's controlling the game. He was sensational. And that was on the back of the forward pack who provided that platform for them to work their magic. And I really I'm starting to like the look of that Roosters forward pack as well. It's a good mix of experience and youth, and they look a wee bit more mobile than a number of other packs around as well. Those edge forwards, Butcher just had a field day. If you're a Chooks fan, things aren't looking too bad at the moment, and the fact that Sam Walker can kick a few goals as well, and there are a few teams that wouldn't have minded having some successful goal kicks. The Dolphins come to mind as one of those teams. But yeah, I just thought that was one of the most complete performances against a team that has looked good this season.
And they weren't that bad. The Dragons weren't that bad.
No.
I've seen teams have 60 put on them and been utterly horrific. The Dragons just were not that bad. Like they were not a team deserving of having 60 on. That was spoke more to the Roosters' class than the Dragons giving up the ghost or being exceptionally poor. Like, they're obviously outclassed the Dragons, but they were not horrific.
If you go, I'm just looking. If you go to the NRL.com and you go to the stats page, the team stats for this game, you just scroll down. It's all even the whole way down until you get to defense, and like the Roosters made more tackles than the Dragons, but the Dragons missed 50 and had 27 ineffective tackles.
And the reshuffle really hurt them as well. Like, you cannot, like Tom Eisenhower, I would take even money off to beat Tom Eisenhower over 20 meters. And the fact he's playing left centre for a while, like that, very easy to expose.
Is that a warning shot? You think the Roosters they're coming now?
We've had the fastest man in league. This could be a race. The slowest man in league.
Didn't you say last week he wanted to race someone as well?
Tedeschi.
The slowest man in league is a three-way race. Tom Eisenhower, Tedeschi, and the tree Paul Kemp got thrown into.
Here it is. I was waiting for him to come up.
Oh.
Wow. Do we think this is a warning shot from the Roosters? This is the game that they're going to sort of kick on and fulfill their potential?
For mine, the issue isn't whether the Roosters can do this. They've always had this in them. They have for the last few years. It's being able to string 3 or 4 of these together and actually kind of confirm that they are that serious deal. Perhaps it's a warning shot, but I think we're going to see this better than a very tough task against the Broncos. And I think they just need to be. They've just not been able to get any momentum up for various reasons over the last 3 or 4 years. They need to start building on that because they've had some great results this year. Had some pretty ordinary ones too. So, we'll see what happens with the Roosters. I still think they're a serious contender, but if they play like they did on the weekend, they will 100% be in the grand final with Penrith for mine. I think they're the next best team, but it's that consistency is the issue.
They've had a tough start to the season. They've had to play the Storm, the Panthers, the Sea Eagles, the Broncos. So they've played some very, very good teams. But that result last week was just super.
Yeah, they've got a pretty easy stretch coming up in between buys. Anyway, let's move on to everyone's favourite part of the week.
Oh,
the NRL grid. If you're playing along at home, pause the pod. Go and do Tuesday, 30th of April. Come back and compare your scores. Mine is not good this week.
Really? I'm feeling confident. I reckon I've got it this week.
Oh,
I'm just gonna front foot this. I've got 200s.
Oh,
I'm gonna say I'm not last this week.
No, you're not last.
I'm not last.
Wow.
So across the top, we've got Dallas Johnson teammate, has played for the Eels, and a Ben Hampton teammate. Down the left, has played for the Storm, scored a try on debut and has played for the Cowboys. Teddy, your top row, please.
I focus very much on embarrassing rugby union players in this grid. So there's a few names that will pop up. Amazingly, I found out multiple-time Wallaby, Joseph Tamane, as Dallas Johnson teammate Storm player. Rain, 0.25.
Yeah, what?
Parramatta Storm, Tepai Maroa, 7.70. And a Ben Hampton teammate, it's really stretched the brain. And Storm, one of my favourite cult heroes, Maurice Blair, Brain, 1.01.
One of the great Warriors centres.
Mo Blair.
Searle, your top row.
Yeah, I went with Nathan Friend for 2.5 points. Then I went the great Cappy McFadden for 2.84 points. And then I had a different Blair, Chase Blair, for 1.04 points.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Paul?
I went James Maloney, 2.99. Brett Finch, 9.41. And Kenny Bromwich, 3.60.
And I've got one of the scariest men to ever play rugby league, Sikamanu, 1.42. Also had Tepai Moiroa, 7.7. And Ryan Hinchcliffe, 2.07. Across the top there. Teddy, your middle row.
This was brutal. The score of trying to do. I managed to. I remember two of them, but I asked my way to the other of it. Dallas Johnson teammate scored a try and I was actually embarrassed to put this man's name down. Israel Folau, 1.95 points. Parramatta scored a try and debut. Sean Russell, 0.64. And this was the guess. Ben Hampton teammate scored a try and debut. Antonio Winterstein. And the biggest shock of getting it right was the fact it was 8.68 points. I thought I deserved a lot better than that, but anyway.
Yeah.
Searle?
I also had Izzy Folau, which I'm ashamed to have. Then I had Brendan Hands for 0.61. And then Billy Slater was my try on debut, Ben Hampton teammate, for 13 points. I couldn't think of anyone else.
Paul?
Yeah. I've got rugby players too. Israel Folau, 1.95. Brain. Michael Jennings, 8.60. And Suliasi Vunivalu, 4.75.
Oh, well played.
I picked the wrong Fijian flyer. I also had Israel Folau. So we've got the bingo board covered there. Eels scored a try on debut. He scored 82 tries in 94 games, but he did not score on debut. Semi Radradra.
I think he scored the very next game, didn't he?
And Ben Hampton teammates scored a try on debut. Another Fijian flyer who did not score on debut, Marika Korobeti. Tough.
As Teddy would say, well, you shouldn't pick union players then.
I would normally say that, but my grid board is full of them.
Bottom row.
Dallas Johnson teammate Cowboy Leeson Armau, 4.64. Eel and Cowboy Dejan Arce, 2.79, and a little brain. And Ben Hampton teammate Cowboy Jake Clifford, 0.95.
Oh,
Wow. Searle?
I think I've gone the early crow here and I haven't won, but hey, I went with Ashton Sims as my Dallas Johnson teammate from the Cowboys, 3.41. Then I had two great Warriors, Dejan Arce at 2.79 and Peter Hiku at 2.95.
Very nice.
Bugger. I was looking at both Sims brothers for that square. I went with Tariq. He was 5.19. I went with Willie Tonga, 12.24. And I went with Isan Masters, 1.23.
Oh, nice.
Nice one.
Also took my guy, Tariq Sims, 5.19. That might be about the 10th time he's got a run in my...
That's the only reason I remembered. And then I thought, oh, do I know his brother?
Also had Willie Tonga, 12.24. And Michael Morgan, 2.33. So with that, fellas, give us your total. Ted.
28.6.
Oh, damn it.
Silly.
I can't win anything on this damn show. 31.1.
It was a hard one though, Searle. I struggled with them.
Mm.
Oh, I got to win. No red squares. 50 flat.
232.9. And I was genuinely trying. That's tough to cop. All right. New one for you on the spot.
Oh,
Fellas, just a quick little whip around. Little scenario here. Would you take a $1,000 bonus bet?
bonus cash.
We could say $10,000 bonus bet or bonus cash,
Bonus cash,
if we like here. Or you've got 80 minutes to make 50 meters in your current physical state for $100,000.
What do you mean 50 meters?
So you're playing a game of NRL.
Against who?
Doesn't matter. Anyway.
I think it does matter.
Okay, we'll pick the worst defensive team in the NRL. You've got 80 minutes to carve out 50 meters for 100 grand.
I think the $10,000 bonus bet.
You taking the bonus cash or you taking 100 grand?
No, there is just zero chance with my speed off the mark. I would have to take minimum 50 hit-ups to get there. I'm being pulled down very, very early here. And that's assuming I get back up after every tackle. I look back, I'm soft. So,
what does Tom Eisenhuth average per week?
I don't think he'd be averaging 50 meters a go.
I'm going to find out here. All right, Teddy, so you're taking the cash?
Yep.
Searle, I reckon you're going to have a crack at this.
Yeah.
Hang on. Tom Eisenhuth average running meters, 51.
That's elite.
So I would have the slowest man in rugby league, the race first before the game, a little curtain raiser, and then we'd have them both on the field.
Oh, how good. Sorry, Searle, as you were.
No, yeah, I'm gonna go for the big one, the 100 grand. I'd obviously like to wear the one jersey if possible, so I can get it on a couple kick returns. That would be ideal. But yeah, I'm going for it.
I did put here, I didn't read it out. Sorry, you're playing in the middle.
I'm still going for it. If Adam Fanor-Blake and Mitch Barnett are off the paddock, I'm going for it.
Paul, you were quite the player in your time.
Oh, I'm going for it.
What about now?
I'm going for it.
You going for it?
Big time. And I'm going
Just recently completed the Bronco.
I'm going to push whoever the dummy half is. I'm pushing him out the way. I'm taking it from dummy half, running 1.5 meters, dropping to the ground, surrendering. And I'm going to do that as many times as I need to.
All right. I like the confidence.
I'll be honest, Karl. This show has long delved into fantasy land with the number of Warriors tips and bets that they do every week, and the fact that 2 of the 3 answers have said they're going to hit an NRL field and try and get 50 meters, including Paul. Who I don't want to guess Paul's age, but I'm going to say is probably north of 50.
So, look at that! He's run his age in meters.
So he's been at the TAB for 47 years.
I still use the same abacus too.
For what it's worth, I think I'd have a crack too.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. We'll have one of those each week going forward. Let's preview the week and wrap this show up. I think we'll do the same thing. We'll pick a game each. Teddy, I'll start with you. What is the game you want to have a look at this week?
Oh, on the spot here. All right, I'm going to look at the Titans and Storm. And no, I'll start with the start. We'll go with the Bunnies and Panthers.
Just
Jason
quickly,
Demetriou sacks.
I was going to say, just quickly, Bunnies $5.20, Panthers $1.15. Panthers are 15.5-point favourites, and the total for the game is 43.5. Teddy.
Yeah, normally you would think this will be an absolute one-goer. Penrith should annihilate them, but 2 things happening on South here at the Big Plus. Teams not conceding 50 plus have an insanely good record in this week, 66%. Home underdogs of conceding 50 plus, cover at 79% dating back the last 16 seasons. Now, my confidence was fairly tempered by what South has done, the fact they failed to cover 13 straight games, and the market overrates them. But I like the fact that they're going to have a new coach, Ben Hornby. He's probably going to make some changes. I would be stunned if the halves this week wasn't Jack White and Cody Walker, which I think is a much better scenario for them. I'm on the plus. It's not going to be pleasant. You're going to have to hold your nose. But Penrith were, by their standards, I think fairly ordinary in patches against the Cowboys last week. And the Panthers, 9-9 against the spread when favoured by more than 12.5 away from Bluebet. So they're a bang on average team as a favourite, as a huge favourite away from home, which is not that surprising, but this is a spot where South can kind of keep it close. I can see this being a Penrith win by 10 or 12.
I know the recent form of the Bunnies suggests otherwise, but the average winning margin in this game in the last 10 is only 11.5, and six of the last 10 have been by 6 or less. So
South won the last game.
Yeah, so traditionally a pretty close game, and you always say beware the team who have just lost their coach.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest myths in rugby league, the new coach bounce. But I think you look at it circumstance by circumstance, and often those coaches get fired at back end of the season when all is lost. They've still got plenty of their stars there, and you don't often see a team get sacked with this much talent on the roster. Now they're not putting it together, and will they be able to turn it around in 2 days? Who knows? But I would expect this to be the most effort you've seen from a South team in a long time.
Searle, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I like the Panthers, but that line is a little too big. So as you'll hear in my bets later, I've gone with an alternative line that's a bit smaller there. I think the Panthers will be pretty disappointed in how they played last week, and a second week in the saddle for Nathan Cleary, I expect them to be better. But I do think the Bunnies can give them a decent crack, especially if Wyden is in the 6 jersey, because I think that's the play long term. Latrell into the centres, and you keep Jai Gray at the back, and you try and get something going there. So I'd like to see Jack Wyden at 6.
Bunnies or Panthers, Paul?
Panthers.
Nothing else to add?
Well, look, I'm pretty sure that I brought this up with Teddy before around when a coach gets changed around the sort of the bounce back, and I'm pretty sure he told me it's a myth, doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I'm just wary of the fact that the Rabbitohs have just been on such a low for the last 6 or 7 weeks. It's going to take a big effort for them to get out, and this is the worst team I think for them to have to do it against. I think Searle said, another game under the belt for Nathan. He'll be much better for that. I think they can keep it close for the first half, but I think the Panthers could really put one on them.
Spot on that ball with the team. Any other team other than Penrith, I would be absolutely declaring South this week with that number. But Penrith, especially off a pretty ordinary performance like Searle mentioned, you've got to be wary about that.
Yeah, a few try scoring nuggets, potential nuggets for the punters. Taruva's scored in 4 of his last 5 games. Dylan Edwards has scored in 4 of the Panthers' last 5 away games. Tom Burgess has scored in 3 of the last 4 at a core. And Cody Walker has scored in 5 of the last 7 versus Penrith. Here we go.
Delicious. Be a little same game multi-punters there.
Yeah, I actually like that. George Burgess was in the TAB club rooms last week as well. Don't know if you crossed paths with him, but shook his hand. So maybe that's a good omen.
I did see him. He walked in and I thought, that looks like George Burgess. I was like, why would he be here? It's not going to be him. And
he said both of them got offered contracts for the Warriors pre-COVID, and they were both very close to coming.
Did you get a selfie with him, Searle?
No, I don't think he would have fit in the camera screen. He's a big boy.
No, I won't say that. I'll take that one off there. Searle, what game we're looking at?
Get your head out the gutter, Karl. I think we all know where I'll be going, and that's the invasion of Newcastle. We've got Knights here, but we've got Warriors over here in New Zealand, and this is a game that we need to win. Like Teddy touched on before, we've got Knights, Roosters, Panthers all away before we. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I nailed that actually. And then the Dolphins after that. So we need to win 2 out of those 4 at least. And this is one that we have to get this weekend. It's not easy to go over Newcastle and get a win, but I'm backing our lads off the back of a long turnaround. They would have been in the lab this week. There's plenty to iron out, but I just think we do still have the talent and the roster to get this done. So I'm expecting a much more polished performance. I think Capewell back into that right edge will help us defensively, because while he hasn't been as outstanding on attack, his defense you still can't question, and his effort areas. So I like that. I like Bunty coming back into the middle to hopefully help slow down the ruck a little when our 2 big boppers are off the paddock. So yeah, I'm going Warriors here.
Knights $2.40, Warriors $1.58. The Warriors are 4.5 point favourites, and the total points is 39.5. Teddy, what kind of stats have you got for the punters here?
Well, Newcastle are great, but for starters, they've covered 5 straight as a home dog, covered 7 of the last 10 at home, 12 of their last 17 day games. Key for me though is the market overreaction with no Ponga. They score more than 2 points a game better without Ponga and Ponga. They're 23-70 against the spread without him, 48-62 against the spread with him. So for me, that says that the market values Callum Ponga's contribution to the team more than it should. Obviously, a great player, but the market overreacts on that. So jumping on them, but this is as much a play against the Warriors as on the Knights. They've covered 13 of their last 35 as a favourite, the Warriors. 11 of their last 33 on the road of conceding 22 plus. Covered is 42% away from outsmart. But the Warriors are unquestionably a better team on paper, and they did beat this team by 8 at home 4 or 5 weeks ago. So yeah, probably have their measure, but Newcastle play their best footy on a Sunday afternoon in front of a big crowd, and I don't think the Warriors are going nearly good enough to be laying 4.5 points on the road, taking them not to.
They just on a Sunday afternoon in Newcastle. Where is it? They've won 9. Knights have won 9 straight at McDonald Jones Stadium on a Sunday.
That's when the crowd's at the best. Searle does not care.
Nice.
Yep, doesn't worry me whatsoever, boys. Give it to us.
Yeah, I'll take a few try scorers in that game. I'm not touching the head-to-head.
This is the second week in a row you've steered clear of the Warriors.
Well, I'm trying to help them.
I agree with last week, Paul.
I agree with Searle, though. I think Capewell back in the lineup really, really does help them defensively. So hopefully on the back of that, we'll see an improved performance and a win in a very tight game.
Well, hopefully it's an absolute blowout win, but I guess we'll just take a win at the
dub.
What game do you want to talk about?
I'm going to have a look at the Bulldogs-Tigers game, and I'm going to rain on Teddy's top 8 ticker tape parade that he just blurted on about at the beginning of the podcast. I really like it. I love the Tigers here. They have been one of the most unluckiest teams over the last few weeks. Hal Snyder was not sent off for that professional foul against Justin Olam a couple of weeks ago. And Olam pretty sure he had Galvin in support inside him, and he had another player outside him. That was going to be a try. And I think it could have just changed the momentum slightly in that game. And then last week against the Broncos, come on, that's a try. Coruscant scored. It's getting ridiculous now, the way that they slow these things down so much. It's great. I feel for the tie, and I think they're due a wee bit of luck, and I think that will be enough to get them over the top of this dog side. I hope Teddy has some stats that say to get on the Dogs, because I'm really, really keen on the Tigers.
Oh, boy, do I have some stats. So here's the only stat you need to worry about, Paul. Canterbury have 0 Super Rugby players in their team. West Tigers have 1. So that's the only stat you need to worry about there. We're going to do my best of all time. But if Jacob Carraz is not the biggest moral to score a try of all time, then I'll give it up. One of the best finishes in the game against a guy who can't tackle, can't catch, and was running around. Dean Mariner should have got 4 tries last week about the first 10 minutes. If he could have caught the ball, he would have. Dogs are a great bet this week, Paul. I'm up and about. I'm finally believing. They've covered 4 straight day games, covered their last 3 of the core, 3 of their last 4 of the favourite. And the Tigers covered just 16 of 40 off a double-digit loss. I think the Tigers' depth is getting stretched. If you're having a bet, Paul, I'd probably wait till the death because I don't think Appy Corus has any moral to be playing this week. So, big check on his health there. So, obviously, if Corus plays, this will be much closer. If he doesn't play it, this could be 40. I think he's that. We talked about earlier best players in the team. I don't think Appy's the best player in the comp. But in terms of important players, I think he'll have a bit of a Jamal Fogarty Raiders influence. If Appy Corus is not there, the Tigers are going to look like a reserve grade side.
When was the last time you think the Bulldogs scored 40 points?
Probably against the Tigers, we might guess. you go on and I'll do some research, but I don't think it was that far ago.
Dogs are $1.40 favourites. Tigers $2.95. The line is 7.5 points, and the total is 40.5.
I think that the Tigers have lost their last 9 straight at a core, and they haven't beat the Dogs there since 2018 as well. So I'm all on the Dogs, and I don't think Appy Carousel's going to play.
Well, yeah, as we heard earlier this show, the Dogs haven't been in the top 8 since 2017. So there's a bit of history there. But yes, if Appy's not there.
When do you reckon the Tigers were last in the 8? Probably like 2011, 2012?
05, was it?
05.
Wow. What you mean?
It was the last time they were atop the table.
The last time Blake was there?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So we've scored 38 a lot in the last little bit, 36, Karl, but it's a long time.
Not 40. It's not 40. Keep going back. I want to talk about the Broncos Roosters. Broncos $1.50, Roosters $2.60. The Broncos are 8.5 point favourites. The total was 41.5. Chooks have won 4 of the last 5 and 7 of the last 10 here. And I think coming off the back of last week, this is probably the match of the round. Brisbane, though, they've won 6 straight at Suncorp. They've covered the line in 12 of the last 13 against top 8 opponents. I would love to hear, Teddy, if you can multitask, what other stats you've got and kind of where you're leaning. But I like the plus here.
June 25, 2016 was the last time the Bulldogs scored 40 points.
Against who?
The Broncos.
Wow.
40 to 40. I'm guessing that might have been an Origin affected game.
Yeah, I was going to say Origin period for sure.
Yeah, I found this game really hard to pick. I'm looking forward to this Broncos Roosters game as much as any regular season game I can remember. But don't have any strong angles here. Like the Broncos are in such a great spot here. They've covered 8 of 9 at Suncorp, 13 of 15 at night. They've covered 28 of 6. We're not a big win. They just hold form. They're 7-8 against the spread of 13 plus. But since 2008, there have been 4 underdogs there have been only 4 teams who have scored 60 points the week before and been an underdog. All have covered next week. Those have scored 50 and been an underdog, 23 and 10 against the spread. The Roosters have covered 4 of the last 5 as an underdog. Only knock on them, they've covered just 2 of the last 9 at Suncorp, 3 of the last 12 off a win. So that consistency I mentioned earlier is a bit of an issue for them. I genuinely toss up for me at the line. I really don't know. Ezra Mann back is really important for the Broncos. When I'm in this situation, I'm probably going to end up back in the Roosters with like 6.5. But this will be one of those ones I'll pontificate over until 10 minutes before kickoff and then have a bet and just regret who I backed as soon as the game starts.
If the Chooks halves click like they did last week, that'll set the tone for the rest of the team.
The problem with the last week though was that the Dragons pack can be dominated. The Broncos cannot. You're not dominating Haas and Carrigan, full stop. So, will they without the same platform there? Can the Roosters be as effective? Maybe. I certainly don't know the answer to that, but they're not going to obviously not going to get as easy as last week.
Searle, where are you leaning here?
Yeah, I think a key one for me is Victor Radley named on the extended bench. If he can play, then that's a massive in for them because I think they need Victor there. When you talk about the Broncos, they've kind of got everyone back now. Haas, Reynolds, Ezra, Cobbo, everyone's on the team sheet. So I think I'll be backing the Broncos at home. I think it's Jared's 300th as well, though, right? So the Roosters will be up for this one in a major way. It's going to be a heck of a clash. That plus 6.5 is appealing because it gives you a bit of insurance. But if I had to do life on the line, I'd probably just back the Broncos at Suncorp because they're so good there.
Paul?
I like the Roosters here, getting the points. Look, it'll be hard to replicate the performance that they put on last weekend, but I just like the way they're travelling now, and I think this is where we see them start to string a few results together and send out a warning shot to the rest of the comp.
As I said earlier, if they can put in a good performance, get a win here, well,
They'll lose next
guaranteed
week.
a loss the week after against the Warriors. Following that, they go up against the Sharks. It should be a good test. Raiders, Cowboys, bye. Eels, Dogs, Tigers, Dragons, bye. That's a pretty soft run. Could very, very easily see the Roosters near the top of the table come round 20, I think. Anyway, if you're you want to have a look at the other games, head to tab.co.nz or the app and check them out there. Fellas, we're going to get to some betting now. As we always do, we've got $100 to spend on anything you like, not basketball though, Searle. We're going to stick with rugby league. I will start with Blake's bets. He sent them in earlier. He's got two plays, two $50 plays. The first, he's got the Panthers with an alternate start of -5.5. Manly head-to-head. Storm with an alternate line of -4.5. The Cowboys head-to-head. And Dragons plus 13.5 at $5.61. And then he's got $50 on the Warriors at -4.5 at $1.90. Those are Blake's two bets, and I can see Teddy smirking at that second one there. Teddy, what do you got?
Make it real simple this week. I'm on the Storm -13.5, $50. $1.90, whatever you offer there. And $50 on Jacob Carraz to score against the Union player. $2.15.
He's consistent.
Yeah, you can't knock his consistency.
No, yes, his consistent grudge against rugby union.
Come end of year review time. Nick Tedeschi, consistency, tick.
Well, Dean Mariner scored the first try last week. Carraz is great value to score first try. Dean Mariner should have had a hat trick last week if you catch. Carraz is a bit better than that, so he'll have an absolute field. I cannot wait to see this guy try and tackle Jacob Carraz. He's not going to know what he did.
Silly, what do you got?
I've got a boring bet for the majority of my cash here because the debt collectors are starting to knock on my door. That they want me to pay up. I'm in the negative in a massive way. So $80 on the Panthers -3.5 and the Storm and Warriors head to head. Win me a bet up the mighty wires, $2.45 just to get some money back into the kitty. And then we touched off air. I'm big on the duos, so bear with me. This one will take 10 minutes to spit out, but I've gone on them in a major way. So I've got To'o and Taruva, Mariner and Walsh, Isako and Felt, Dallin and Marju, Mulatalo and Lomax, all 1+ tries combined in their games there. Those were some duos. It's paying $5.37, $20 on that. I reckon there's some real value in these duos. You just get to sit back and hope that one of them scores. It's good fun.
The face of duos, Searle. I love it.
I love it.
Give this man his own advertising campaign.
Well, I've actually got some stats on duos here.
Oh no, don't read them out because I have a feeling they're not going to be complimentary to my bet.
No, I can't remember who you rattled off half a comp. So yeah, Daniel Tupou or Joey Manu have scored at least one try in each of their last 10 games together.
Okay, they weren't on my bet, but that's great.
Nope.
And Jesse Arthurs and Selwyn Cobbo have scored at least one in their last 13 together at Suncorp.
Nice. I went Mariner and Walsh, so that's great positive signs there for me. Maybe back to the drawing board, but let's see.
Paul, what have you got?
Well, it's great that Searle brought up the duos because there are a number of new shiny options in terms that you can, in terms of the NRL that you can get stuck into. So I've also got a duo in there in one of my multis, and I'll start with that one first. It's a three-legger. Jason Searle to score a try for the Sea Eagles. Valentine Holmes to score a try for the North Queensland Cowboys. And then that's into a duo. And this duo is to have 2 or more tries combined. And that's Bradman Best and DWZ to have 2 or more tries combined in the Wars Knights game. That comes out to $11.09. I'm putting 50 on that. And then my second multi, I'm calling my 295 multi because both teams are paying $2.95. I'm taking the Roosters to beat the Broncos, and I'm taking the Tigers to beat the Bulldogs. Both paying $2.95, $50 on that double.
Paul's going to be minus $386 next week.
There's no bigger moral in the world.
Oh, this is a brilliant. We're going to cut this one out, and I'm going to be playing something back next week.
Yeah, come with me, Paulie. It's fun down the bottom, mate. It's fun down the bottom.
You are the Jet Cleary of this podcast, Paul.
All right, I'll bring us home. I've got a Broncos Roosters same game multi. I'm going to take the Roosters plus 8.5 over 41.5 points. And I've also got a double in here that Tupou or Manu, one try between them. That comes out to $5.18. I've got $30 on that. Then I've got $50 on 3 alternate lines. Storm minus 8.5, Manly minus 7.5, Sharks minus 9.5. That's at $3.55. And then because I've got a little bit of breathing room at the top, we're going to have a little bit of fun, and I'm just going to put $20 on all 8 favorites at $8.83. To win. Yeah.
We've got 2 wrong there already.
We'll see. Have we got the new promos up and about for rugby league yet?
Yep. There's a same game multi bonus back cash on. You can only qualify for 1 per day.
Yep.
Okay. So 3 games on Saturday. You can only qualify for 1 of those games.
Choose wisely.
So if you have same game multi on all 3 games and you won in the Bulldogs Tigers game doesn't qualify, like it fails by 2 or more legs, then you'll go on to the next game. If that one fails by 2 or more legs, you can go into the next game. But if you hit the one on the first game of the day, and you qualify for a bonus back cash, then you can't qualify for the other 2 games. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me. How about you fellas?
I'll just nod. Yeah.
Perfect sense. Can I just ask about the new app and website? Is this like a replica of the Ladbrokes one in Australia that you've got going?
It is. The interface is very similar. Yes.
Because it's a great app and probably the best one to use over here. And obviously there's a million bookmakers over here, so that's great news. That'll be good for punters because one of the real benefits is very, very quick and very, very easy to find markets on the app.
Yeah.
Exciting time for New Zealand punters.
Shiny new toy. Everyone loves a shiny new toy. All right.
Done.
That'll do us for another week on the Advantage Line. Fellas, thank you very much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your input. What was that? It was a little gang sign, Teddy.
Little gang sign up and about.
Mate, the Bulldogs, he's living like a rock star. The Bulldogs are in the 8, mate. He hasn't stopped partying.
We don't have gangs in Australia, Karl, so
They just have rugby union players.
Looking down the camera, I saw you at the corner of my eye there. It sort of rattled me a little bit.
rock and roll.
Paul, thank you. And to the punters out there, thank you. We will be back next week to do it all again. Cheers.